Hi everybody, it's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you what I do with my uh, leftover scrapbook pieces, so I hope you'll join me. I hope everyone is having a good weekend. I am. Our weather here yesterday was terrible, and I actually filmed this, or thought I filmed this, um, yesterday, and it filmed about 30 seconds or so, and then it cut off, and I had no clue. So a lot of it was lost time on my part as far as video, but I did get some stuff made. So today I'm going to kind of show you what I do with my drop pieces from scrapbook paper, which I have a ton of. And so I'm going to be putting together some things to put in my shop. And so I thought I would bring you along and show you kind of the process of what I do. First of all, Kathy, your journal is finished. I'm sorry I did not do more of this on camera, but I have been swamped at work with a big, huge project, and I've been really struggling with even time to make time to even work on it. And so, because it does take a longer time when you're trying to video and make something, I've just been kind of working on it. But it is finished, and it will go in the mail to you tomorrow, and I hope you love it. So that is that, and if you're not a subscriber, I will be giving away another journal when I reach 500. So please subscribe and follow along, and when we hit that 500, I'll let you know, and we'll do it all again. And thank you guys, really, for your patronage. I really do appreciate it. So, we're talking about scrapbook paper. Um, I have a lot of scrapbook paper because the paper crafting that I used to do before this required scrapbook paper. And so I have a lot of drop pieces and a lot of smaller pieces. And the way that I store those is once I cut a full sheet out, whether it be a 12 by 12, an 8 by 8, 4 by 6, whatever it is, I put it in a box, and then I cut it down to index card. Let me grab this right here so I can show you. I cut it down to this size because I have a box that I store all the pieces in like this. And then I can rummage through them and pick out what I want to make, whatever it is that I'm making, because very rarely do I use scrapbook paper that's much bigger than this. Especially if it's the paper, scrapbook paper, that's a different story. But if it's actually cardstock, this is probably the biggest that I would use in a journal, just because it's too stiff, in my opinion, for pages. And so I end up making pockets and tucks and journal cards and that kind of thing out of it, but not necessarily a page. So for me, this is a good size. So I chop everything down to this size, and like I said, I, have an index card box, and I think this is 4 by 6. Yes, it is. I chop it down to this size and store it in the box. So, with that being said, I end up with a big, huge stack of cards that are 4 by 6. What I did for today's video is I went through and I tried to think of several ways that I use these, and I've got some examples, and then we're going to put some together. One thing that I do is I can make a corner tuck and use one of the cards as a backing and use another partial card, because you can imagine if that's a full card, you can get at least 2 of the corner pockets out of it. And then once I cut this one down for the corner pockets, then I would take the smaller piece of scrap, and if it's something that I think I'm going to use, then I will put it, I have another box that has even smaller scraps in it that I keep. If it's, you know, not enough left that I feel like that I can do anything with, and it's not an interesting pattern, then I'll just go ahead and get rid of it, because I have tons of paper and I just get overwhelmed. So in this particular case, you know, I made this little corner tuck, embellished it. This is the piece, the scrap piece that I had. And then I've just taken a couple of, this is a vintage advertising card. And this is just a tag that also came from scrapbook paper that I put some tea-dyed paper on the back and, you know, ruffled it up to make it look more vintage. And I will just stick those in there, and then that can go in my journal as a finished piece on a page. So that's one option. Okay, the next option is to do a double side tuck. And when I do these, what I have, and we're going to put one of these together, is I have the original 4x6 piece, and then I take one of the 4x6 pieces and I cut it in half. So then I have a 2x6 piece, you know, 2 of them. So I can make 2 of the first pockets with one sheet, and then take a sheet to make the back. And we're going to put one of those together right now. Okay, so this is one I just gathered stuff up for, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this is my 4x6 sheet here. And then this is the piece that is the 2x6. So it's going to go on like that. And I'm going to put my little finger notch in the center. Like so. Then I have my ink here. Ink it up really quick. And then I'm also going to put a finger notch. Actually, I'm going to do it on this side so I can line it up. That would be the smart way to do it, wouldn't it? On this outside, because this is going to be our second tuck. I lost my little plastic cover piece to this one, and it makes those little circles go flying up in the air when I cut them. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is glue on this tuck. I'm using art glitter glue for this. Hope I have enough to finish this video. It seems like it's getting low. Okay, so we're just going to glue that on there. Like so. And then you're going to have, you can see you've got a tuck here and a tuck here. That's going to go in your journal. Okay, now I'm going to decorate a little bit. And this really depends on your paper. I mean, sometimes the paper is, you know, enough. And in this case, I'm just going to add this little butterfly, because other than that, I feel like it's enough with the, between the print and the damask pattern. And then I'm just going to wrap this little wing around rather than chopping it off. And take my pen. Draw this little antennae on there. Okay, and then I'm going to put a tab on this one. And I made these just with my tab punch. And some of the smaller scraps that I was talking about. The smaller scraps of scrapbook paper that are left. It's another great use for those, is just making a bunch of tabs. Put that there, and then the only thing left to do after that is to figure out what you're going to put in your pockets. And for this one, I have, this is part of a masterboard that I did, that I had left over. That's a journaling card size. And then this is a tag that I made from the drop of this. And you could not journal on this, but if you did want to make it so that it was, you could journal on it, you could definitely put, you know, some tea-dyed paper or something on the back of that. This is an altered plain card that I had in my stash, and I just added the butterfly, and I'm going to add this sentiment. And then this is a printable, and it is a dance card, an old-timey dance card. And I'll have to look up who I got those from, but I thought those were real cute. But I picked it because of the pinks in here. So there's my pieces, and the way this would work, let me grab this piece of paper over here. Okay, this, if this was our journal page, then you would glue this down wherever you want it on the page. I like them in the bottom corner, but you definitely could, you know, glue them wherever you like. And then you would have, you know, your 2 tuck spots that you could fill up. And there you go. So that's how that one would work. And you've gotten rid of, look how many scraps. So there's that one, and that is the double side tuck. Grab a paper clip so I can put this one back together. Okay, the next option is very similar, except you just have a single side tuck instead of a double. And we'll do kind of a mini version of that one. And in this particular case, it would be for something that you're not gonna overfill. It's just a side tuck with a single journal card. So again, these are just scrap pieces that I have done. And this would be for the nicer pieces that you could actually make a nice journal card out of. And in this particular instance, I've cut down the 4x6 a little bit, because if you're going to use a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and fold it in half for your journal pages, then you're going to have to have a little bit smaller journal card than the 6 inches, because it's going to be, you know, too wide, or too wide. So you're going to have to trim that down and have a little bit drop piece off that. So for this one, I'm just going to do a little mini collage. And even these little torn out pieces that I'm putting on this collage came from one of those 4x6 cards that I had in my stash. I just, you know, cut a piece for something else, and then took these pieces, and I meant to do that the other way, and I'm sure it's already stuck. So I'm going to trim this down a little bit. I didn't want to cover her legs up. That up where I tore it off. And then this is just a little cluster that I had laying around from when we made those. Ooh, 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 ooh. Got some volcano action going on there on my 3-in-1 glue. Put that there, and then again we're going to put a tab on it. And you could, you know, easily make these for either side. Like I could put the tab over here, and I think I will in this instance. Which side do I like better? That one. So if I did it on this side, then it could go on the other side of the, you know, this side of the page, and then my journal card could stick in like that. And you could decorate your journal card however you want. If I was going to do anything to this one, it would probably be just to add some stamping. And because this side is not as good to write on, although you could with a thicker pen, you know, this is an excellent writing spot, and so I didn't want to do too much to that. So that is just a single side tuck with a journal card. Okay, the next one that we're going to look at is a pocket like this, and it is a bottom pocket that would fit on the bottom of the page like this, and then you just stuff it, And then I put a tab on this one because to me this is the one that looks most like our little index divider, even though it's not as wide because, you know, obviously a 4x6 is not going to fit on the paper. And so I've trimmed it down to 5 inches, I believe. Yes, so it's 5 inches. And then just filled it full. And I've got one of those that we can put together as well. Okay, and so again, you know, this was my 4x6 piece, this was my 4x6 piece, and this, I cut them both down to 5, and then this, I cut this one to 2, so there's another 2-inch piece out there somewhere that I can use for something else, or doing, you know, doing the same kind of thing. I hope you guys can see. I moved my camera, trying to get a better coverage of my desk. Okay, so let's ink this. I don't think I got a tab out for this one. I'll have to remember to add it. And again, this is just scrapbook scraps, and I'm not worried about covering the back of this one because this is glued down. If you did want to do it to where it wasn't glued down and there was journaling space on the back, that's obviously a option. But a lot of these papers are really dark on the back, like that one, and so you would have to do something to the back to make that more writable. You could cover it, or I sort of say put gesso on it, but I find that it's kind of hard to write on gesso, depending on what kind of writing utensil you're using. Alright, and then I had way more stuff to go in this one where it's, I didn't grab everything. Okay, so to embellish this, again, this is out of that same paper group, and I just cut a couple of things out to use for embellishments. I think I'm gonna poke a hole in the top of that and put a little brad in there, just to kind of give it a little bit of something something. I can find a short one. Oh, come on. There we go. So I'm gonna glue that down, and I think since I did the brad, I'm gonna use the 3-in-1 glue. And I think I might do where is my foam tape. Foam squares. Now you obviously don't have to do this part, especially if you're trying to save on bulk in your journal. Okay, so there's that. And then I made this out of another piece of the card, and this is actually a sticker, and I put it on some cardstock to make it a journaling spot, so that would go down in there. And then this is a vintage ticket to cross a bridge, so I'm going to put that in there. And then this is a postcard, vintage postcard print from Roxy Creations. So I'm going to make a little postcard. And oh, I forgot to get, I meant to get a real stamp to put on there. But I'll put a real stamp on there, and then, you know, put the cancellation circle on there to make it look more authentic. And I'm going to do this book page on here. It's just a little scrap of German book page. And this little guy, it's a Tim Holtz guy, and he has on little driving gloves, so I thought he went well with the motorcycle. And then again, this is just two little pieces that were in the kit, or in that paper. And you can see I about need a new foamy. I'm losing bits and parts. Put that. Something like that. I'm going to glue from the top down. So it makes it a little bit easier. Oops. Cover up the puppy. I'm afraid to put glue stick on this book page because it's really brittle. Okay. Alright, so then that will go in here. And actually you could do this way as well and glue it on the page so that you have a double pocket. And he would go in the bigger pocket. And this one needs a couple more things. And I'll pull some more things and put in there, and also put the stamp and stuff on the postcard. But that is that version. Okay, so next we have making an actual side pocket that is faced the other way. I made this one on camera yesterday, and this is the one that I thought I was filming, and I wasn't. But it's basically, she is glued down, and I just thought it would be cute to make a little pocket with all her little clothes in it. And in her little accessories, and then that would be a really cute little tuck spot in a journal. So for these, you know, you would put them on the edge of the page like this, or down here like this, and you'd have a pocket here, and then you could also make a tuck spot here if you wanted to. So we're going to make one of those. This one's going to have a bee theme. This back sheet is an actual index card. It's a very, very old index card. And so I thought it went well with this paper, and so I thought I would just use it for the back. The thing about this one is, I don't know how much I would trust using it as a tuck from here, just because the edges are so brittle. If you were going to do that, or if I decide that that's what I would do, I would definitely back it with something else to make it a little stronger. Okay, we're going to glue our pocket on here. And I just stamped, that's a stamp that I have, a wooden stamp, and I just stamped that straight on there, and then this is coffee. And then I have this little guy that I'm going to put right in the center, and I don't guess it really mattered that I did that thumb hole because I'm fixing to cover it up. Fixing to. My husband always laughs at me when I say fixing to because he's from up north. And they don't say that up there. Okay, and then I just pulled several little things to stick in it. I've got my tab, and you know, that could go here, or it could go here, either way. And I think on this one again, I'm going to put it on the other side of the page, because I get in the bad habit of putting everything on one side of the page, and then I got to make a journal, and I don't have anything for the left side. Okay, and then this is just a little printable with a bee, and I think this is from Digital Collage Club, but I'm not sure. And then this was from the other drop that I have from this. I just made a little tag with the drop. This is Tim Holtz. And then these are Tim Holtz as well. And there you go. You got a little cute little stuffed pocket that you can put on the edge of your paper like so, with a little tab, and then you could always put a charm or a dangle or whatever you wanted hanging off the tab. So that's that one. And then the last one is a journal pocket. Get down to my stuff here. That would have like a whole journal card behind it. Like this piece of paper I love, and I wouldn't want to cut that down anymore because I love everything about it how it is. And so, actually I want to round these corners. And so I want to keep this as a full journal card. And use it that way. And so, with that being said, and the embellishments being less on the actual card that goes behind it, my concentration is going to be on embellishing the pocket. And then this paper is, of course, just white on the back. It's only single-sided paper, so it's got a great writing space. And if you don't like that white, you could dingy it up or copy stain it or do whatever you wanted to with it. Alright, and then I picked kind of this neutral paper for my pocket because I thought it went well with the colors in the card, and I didn't want to compete, you know, with the green. And I left it wider. You can see I left it pretty much the full 4 inches wide so that I'd have more room to decorate it. And then I cut it, you know, to 5 inches so it would fit on the page. And I am going to put a notch in this one. And actually on this one, you could put a bigger notch. Let me get my bigger circle over here. And it could carry a bigger notch quite well because it is so wide. Okay, so our journal card would fit in here like so. And so our concentration is going to be on decorating this. And I've got some other lovelies to stick in there as well. So I have picked some things to use. And these are stickers that I got off Amazon. And they're a great little pack. They've got all kinds of little kind of vintage office-y looking things. And I thought that fit better with the more masculine paper. And I'm going to throw a wrench in that in about 2 seconds. And these, it's same package. And it's a sticker as well. And it just looks like a stack of papers. I think it gives a pretty cool effect when you put it on there. And now this is where I'm going to throw the wrench in it. I'm going to put this butterfly right here. I'm going to throw a complete opposite of what you would think would be on something that's masculine, but I like the play on it. I like how the colors go with the paper. Put too much glue on top of that. And I like the idea of something that is not particularly masculine going on here. And now I'm going to go right back and put these gears in this clock, and I've lost one of my cogs somewhere. So I have 3. All right, where'd you go? Well, all right, guys, I can't do it without 3. It will freak me out. All right, let me grab another one real quick. What in the world? Bear with me just a second. Okay, sorry about that, but there's no way I can do that with 2. Ooh, can't use that one. Way too thick. Let's do this one. And these are just little favor tins that I use to keep all my little bits and pieces in. I'm going to use 3-in-1 for this because I feel like it works the best. Even though the smaller nozzle is nice on the art glitter glue, I just don't feel like it works as well on metal. Sorry, I've gotten quiet. I'm concentrating here. I hope I'm on screen. And this is a actual vintage watch face that I put a Tim Holtz hand on because it didn't have any hands. Okay. All right, so there's that part. And then to go in here with this, I have a digital of a vintage check from 1936 that I printed just a little bit smaller, and it does have the front and backs, but I didn't want it quite as big as a real check. And then I have this little digital of a receipt tag. And then I have this tag, which is a evidence tag, or no, it's an inventory tag, sorry. Stick it in there, and then I have another one of Rachel's vintage postcards that has some green stamps on it. So I'm going to stick it in there. So when it's all said and done in that little pocket of stuff, it would look something like that. Okay. And that is our last example for using up my scraps. I hope you all enjoyed that, and we'll give it a try. It really does give you the opportunity to use up a bunch of stuff at one time, and usually when I do these, like I'll today spend, you know, probably a couple of hours making these up, so that I do kind of like a mass make. And the way that I choose what I'm going to do really has a lot to do with the patterns of the paper. For example, you know, I make a stack, and these are going to be the double side tucks, just because the paper is more plain, and I can decorate, you know, this top tuck a little bit. And then for the single ones, like I said, it really, when I have a nice journal card, that's what I'll do for a single, so that when you have something that needs to be less busy, like this one, you know, is going to have this as the journal card. And this is actually more of a fall one, because it has little pumpkins. But that one would be like that. And then I've got this one with the dragonflies. Now this one I will do something to the card because it's fairly plain, but it has a nice scrolly thing on the back. And then for these kind of things, I look for something that I can cut that's going to be this piece that has some kind of, you know, nice image or something on it that I can go off of to make my card. Like this one, you know, this is all about airmail, and so this piece would be the smaller piece on the bottom, and then this piece would be the background piece. And then you saw that one here again, you know, this piece with the numbers here would be the bottom, and this piece would be the back piece. And then I've got this one with the clocks. And sometimes I'll put 3 pieces together if I find, you know, like my idea for this one is, this is going to be the back piece. This is going to be the little shorter piece, and then I think I'll use some of these numbers to decorate. So I'll keep those together. But I'll pull these out, you know, every so often and go through and do a bunch of makes, so that, you know, when I'm either going to do some stuffed journal pockets to list on Etsy, or I want to just do some mass makes to have some to put in journals. And then this one you saw, you know, we just made this one, and then I have another one, another couple actually, that I'm going to work on there. And then I have another masculine card, this one with this gorgeous butterfly on it. And then I have a couple of that are going to be kind of funky for me, that have kind of like a vintagey, more lady kind of look. So that's my projects for today. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and you'll dig into your scraps and find some uses for those. And as always, if you have any questions about anything that I do in a video, please leave a comment below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps with the algorithms that they keep for YouTube, and it helps my channel. You know, go to the, not front of the line, of course, because I don't have enough followers for that, but it does, you know, push me up there when people do searches for different things. And again, I so appreciate your support. And Kathy, your journal's on the way, and I hope to see you guys real soon. Bye.